Hello. Last lesson we created this 3D model of some sort of creature, dinosaur, whatever you want to call it. Now in this lesson we're going to start rigging the 3D model so it can move around uh, in a more realistic way. Also, I'm not going to use subdivision surface this time like I did last time. Well, I didn't really use it that much, but I forgot a little thing about it. Primarily that things kind of shrink when you use the subdivision surface. So I'm just going to leave it like this so I can kind of retain the sharp look. Okay. But if you do want to make this model higher quality, or look good even with a subdivision surface, you'll just have to like kind of remodel along the drawing. Not too much though. You'll just need to push these things up a bit more, but then you probably want to just stay in subdivision surface view, because if you just go out and you have that little change, yeah, that doesn't look right. Or another way you can do it is by using something called mean crease. You press in to get this out, and you can just select some edges. It'll only work with edges and faces, not individual vertices. Then you can you probably see mean crease right here. You can do that and it will kind of return them to their original state. Okay. But that's only if you want to have it subdivided. So now, this time, we're going to give it a skeleton and rig it. So that's the first thing you probably want to do, unless also if you're just watching this to learn to rig, you don't have to do some of this stuff, as you'd probably expect. But this is just for people who actually did watch or do stuff with the last video. You'll still learn how to rig though. Okay, so you just want to duplicate the object, the full object, which includes the teeth, and then you want to press M and then transfer it to one of these little panels. These panels, it's essentially a way of editing the original model without actually messing up the original, if you know what I mean. So first you're going to Shift A and then go to Armature. I'm stupid. Okay. And you want to move that to the inside and turn on X-ray in the Properties panel, which will allow you to see it through the model. Now you want to go to Edit Mode. Right now we're just going to make the basic skeleton. It's not going to actually affect him yet. Also, I'm going to do something slightly different from what I usually do. I usually do with automatic weights, then I adjust it. But this time I'm going to do something, I'm just going to do it from scratch. You'll know what I mean later. Okay, you probably want to duplicate this. And duplicating it, literally just, I only do that so it will also get moved by this. You'll see the effects of that in a bit. Might want to pull this back a tad bit more. Okay, Shift D. Oh. Now tails are quite flexible, so you probably want to put a pretty strong amount of bones in them. So I've been pressing extrude this whole time, if you haven't figured that out already. Okay. Now you probably want to duplicate this again. Just got to structure it out based off the model. Okay, so that's the first joint. That's the second joint. That's the third. And just adjust that a tad bit. And I'm not really sure about giving toe control on this because the toes are kind of meaty and a bit pressed into the foot to where I don't think it would really move them that much. But I'm just gonna stick with I'm still gonna have toe bones in it, but they're only gonna be single jointed. Actually, I'll just You just want to delete this bone. I just created it as a little thing. Okay. Shift D. Pull it over to the other arm, to the other leg. Do. Just duplicate that. Shift D. Okay, now you may be wondering how to, oh wait, the toes are a bit low. Probably want those to be straight. Okay, now you may be wondering how to mirror the... Oh, I'm stupid. I made a simple mistake. Okay, I'll just tie... I believe I can... Trying to figure out how to do this. Will that work? Oh. So if you want to test out if the bones actually connect to each other properly, you can just go to pose mode. Okay, no, it does not work. Crap, I forgot how to connect bones. I haven't had to do it in a while. Is it Control E? P? Oh, P is separate bones. Connect them. Okay. I think that might work. Oh. Nope. Sorry about this. This was not my intention. Oh. Oh, okay. So if you want to connect them like that, you have to... I think you have to use keep offset. And now if I go to pose mode... Oh, it's going to be based off of... Oh. Oh, that's not right. I think now I can just do these two and then Control P and then connected. And now it should theoretically work? No, the thing is gone, so it won't. Oh, I went to object mode. Maybe I can just connect these two by pressing... Yeah, that works. I'm pretty sure. No, okay. No. No. This is a bit annoying. Okay, since I can't remember how to do it, I'll just redo the leg, I guess. I would look it up, but that takes too long. It's easy to make another. It's easy just to make a whole new leg bone. Sorry for that little waste of time. I think in this overall tutorial I'm gonna skip the portion of I'm gonna skip sculpting entirely because I'm not very good at sculpting, so I don't think I can trust my skills with it enough to try to teach other people about it. The best thing I ever made with sculpting was like a Cthulhu head. So I don't think I'm really professional enough to be teaching other people about it, but 3D modeling I've been doing for like since towards the end of summer back in back when I started 7th grade, so I've been doing it for about 3 years. Rigging I'd say is a bit more recent, but I'm still pretty professional at it, I guess. Okay. Now you probably want to know how to mirror these legs to this side. So if I'm correct, you Shift D, Control M, and X. And it should fit like a glove. Wait, I'm gonna... Oh. Right, I just want to get a forward view of it. Really, as long as the toes are properly aligned, I think it's good. Okay, perfect. Save. Now we got the basic skeletal structure out of the way. Now, you go to Object Mode, select the bones, select the model, Control P. Oh. Wait, wrong order. Like, you have to like select them in a specific order. Just select the model and the bones. And I'd usually do with automatic weights, then adjust it from there, but this time I'll do... Actually, wait, I should probably test it out in pose mode to make sure everything is working how it's supposed to. So if I rotate this, it should... Yeah. Yes. Yes. Okay, yeah, everything's in working order. Now, I'd usually do with automatic weights and adjust from there, but this time I'm just going to do with empty groups, so I can show you how to do it from scratch. So you want to select the armature, go to pose mode, and you want to select the 3D model, and then go to weighted paint. So then you can select these bones and determine the amount of weight they carry. Though I believe you can also do it from edit mode. I don't quite remember how, so I might just do the coloring. I just realized that this model is not very good for oh. Yeah, this is not very good for rigging, especially the tail. I have way too many bones for it. But I guess I can work with that. So we'll be sticking with weighted paint for this. Now I normally just do a whole red on a certain portion, but you know, that kind of wouldn't work since a lot of these bones share this little joint area. So it's probably best if I give it 500 control on both these little parts. I don't want to select the leg at all. Crap. One other thing, the edit mode, if you have this on, it will affect it in weight paint, which means it will go through, which is not what you want. Well, it is sometimes what you want, but in this case, when we're trying to specifically control a certain portion, no, not really. Voila. You probably also should not judge how well you're doing this early at all, because something the bones do a lot is interact with the other bones. Alright. Also, you want to make sure that this kind of has very minimal control over here, so it can share control with other bones, which will make the movement seem a bit more realistic. Because you know, when your bones, when your actual bones move around, they tend to like kind of pull skin somewhat. Oh god. Oh wait, I missed one little portion. Meant to do this as well. Oh. Oh, right, I have this on, which made me go through the model. You're probably going to go back and forth from edit mode a lot when doing this to turn that off and on. Okay. There we go. Because this is so poorly made for rigging, it's not doing so well now that I'm rigging it. Funny enough. Okay, making sure it was recording. Okay, now boop. See, this is the one part of the tail that probably should get more control. Because it's the tip of the tail, so you know, normally it's not controlled at all by things in the very back. Now, there you go. Huh. Usually the subdivision surface... Look. Let's just test it with the subdivision surface. Okay, now that I think about it, maybe it was a bad idea to give control to the tip of the tail. Okay, now I'm going to mess with this bone, which just is going to be some interesting control here. It actually has defined joints. But then there's these back fins, which might make things a bit messy. Yeah, my basic rule is have everything have like half control while it's in the center of two bones, and give it a tiny bit of control in the other area of the bone, except for when you're dealing with like the tip of a tail, which is the mistake I made there. Because you know, looking at your own skeletal structure or body structure in general can actually be quite useful when 3D modeling things. Just having a real life example is always nice. Or a reference, I should say. That's, you know, that's the obvious reason of why they use reference images when 3D modeling. It just makes things more accurate overall. Though, after a while you kind of learn to do it without a reference image, it's still just probably better to have one. Got scared. It was just my dog walking. Now, this thing with the legs, that's not right. It's not supposed to have that kind of control. Oh wait, but this little portion is supposed to have that kind of control. Now subtract from this. Won't completely get rid of any control. Wait, why did I do it that way? Won't completely get rid of the control over the leg because it does require a tiny amount due to shared vertices. But you know, it's not supposed to have any, like red represents 100% control unless it's getting affected by a different thing. As you probably assume, that's not what it's supposed to do. Give it maybe like a third control. While also having to fight control over the actual joint. Okay, I'd say that's pretty... Wait a minute, that's not what's supposed to be there. Okay, got it. Wait, did I? Oh, I didn't get the quarter control anywhere. Still gotta do that. See, now this little portion, this is kind of why rigging is my least favorite thing to do. But I'll still do it because it's kind of necessary. No, at least there's not. I just realized a mistake I made. I'll just fix that off camera. I forgot to connect the eyes and teeth to the bone structure, which you can do that. Just connect all of them. If you select all the objects, then the bones. I forgot to do that in this case, so I'll just fix that off camera unless... Now I think about it, I probably won't really need to pose it that much, so if I find a need to do it, I'll do it off cam. Because that would require me to just redo this whole thing. Actually, there might be a way to where I don't have to, but... I just realized. No, that's fine. Still need to find a way to get the specialized texture maps. Thinking about maybe getting a temporary membership on Polygon or something. If you don't know what Polygon is, it's a texture website, but it's not free. Oh, I had to sneeze. I think this portion's pretty much rigged. Looks good enough to me. It already has control of these legs anyways because of the connection. But, you know. Now we're going on to this portion, which is another one of those portions with almost no self-control. Now the neck realistically has almost no control over the body. So for this case, I'm just gonna... Wait, I need to turn this back on. So for this case, it's gonna have its only control over the body is gonna be the one directly connected. Because in the case of the body, they kind of stretch each other out a bit, but the neck is kind of too small proportionally in order to do that. So the neck's the exception to that little rule. There's always going to be those little biological exceptions that you kind of just have to make, because it's biological. I'm gonna get rid of the red, because if it... Actually... Yeah, if it has 100% control, it will just move itself inward if it retains it on a specific object. Oh. Don't want it to really have any control over the crystals, though it will... This little portion will have a bit of control over the head. Just a little. Though mainly in the jawline. Actually, I think that stretches out a bit too far. It's going to have a tiny bit of control on the upper head, just a tiny bit. It's all about the control between other bones in this, as well as their own individual control. Nope. Should probably turn on the go through for this. Right, Control S. See, it's not supposed to have control of the tip of the mouth. The tip of the mouth is like... Yeah, it just doesn't get controlled at all. Oh, I forgot about I forgot that the mouth had an interior. There we go. Now the last thing we have to rig are the two legs. We'll be done rigging for this tutorial. Oh wait, I just went to object mode. Still gotta stay in weighted paint. Now, the legs are gonna be a bit more complicated than the other portions. I think for this I'll just use the... I'll just refigure out how to do the vertice method. I remember learning it from a tutorial and then just forgetting about it really quickly. Is it in this? Yeah, that it is in this. So I'll assign 500. Oh, you also gotta make sure it's the selected bone. People recommend to name your bones, but that takes a long time. So I prefer to just stick with the bone name. You know, just bone, number, whatever. Assign. If you didn't notice, I went to the properties panel and went to this thing. It's object data, and you should see vertex groups right here. And then you can use that. Select all of this. Select everything that doesn't have the 500 on it. And we're going to give this a 100. And now, if I go to weighted paint, we got this. And it's perfectly Oh, I forgot to do something important. Oh, so I forgot you have to individually rig all 4 of the legs. I think you have to go to options. Options should have the symmetry. No, I think it's tools. Options. Strange. Xmirror isn't turned on at all, so I don't know why it's duplicating itself like that. Huh. That's a bit odd. I'm pretty sure it's not supposed to mirror unless the Xmirror setting is on. I'm probably just missing something relatively obvious. I'll just stick with that for now. I can live with it. I'll also fix that off camera if needed. Considering I probably have to completely re-rig it off camera in order to get the results I'm asking for. So I should probably turn the cycles render. That's what we're going to be using for textures, I think, next tutorial. So yeah, you'll just have to rig the... oh, I pressed space. You'll just have to rig the 4 legs on your own without guidance. Though it should just be repeating exactly what you did on the other leg, so shouldn't be too big of a deal. Crap, I could press space again. Assign. believe that's all of it. Okay, no. Dude, let me... There we go. So for this, I'm gonna put 7 something. It's a bit different from what I did, but it doesn't really matter that much. Okay, now this leg is rigged. I just want to put a little 500 here. And it should... Oh, yeah. That's pretty much all of it. Now we gotta go to the individual toes, which should be quite easy. So you just 1, 2, 3, 4, assign 500, and then assign max here. I'll just use the actual brush here, it'd be quicker. At least for those 2 portions. Okay. Now, let's test this out. Just ignore the back. Hold up. Okay. Okay, I don't know why it... Oh, it's just because the angle. So I consider this kind of good. Just realize how this leg is not meant to move back based off of its design. Okay, good enough. Now we're gonna go to the other leg. Should probably just go to edge select so it's easier. Assign. Assign. Now this should be correct. Now let's see how it looks in weight paint mode. Okay, good. Now I'm gonna go to edge. I'll just give myself, or give this bone 250 control in it. Now this should be it. Okay. Now we go back to the feet. Actually, in here I could probably just... You know, there's no spikes on these feet, so... that. Give him 500 control. I'm stupid. I know what I was doing. Well, I know. I just figured out why it was splitting the weight. Although X mirror was off, it's because the mirror. It's because I never applied the mirror modifier. Oh. I think if you apply the mirror modifier where it stands now, you can still rig. But I'll just test that out at the end of the video. Which should, well, should be beginning to end the video right after I complete the... You guys could, I'm sure you guys can figure out how to do the other two legs. It's pretty much just repeating the same thing. Okay. Now, wait. Oh, wait. That was a simple mistake. Sign. Strange. I'm pretty sure the next one should be bone 23. But I'll see if that's the case. Okay. Okay. Now I'll apply the mirror modifier and see if now, if I go to weighted paint, if I can erase one side without it mirroring the other. Yes, I can, so that's why it was mirroring itself like that. Okay, now you should have all the information needed to complete the rig. And, you know, it's pretty much done. Well, see you next tutorial. I'll probably be doing texturing next time, which should be the final step before we set up the little lighting place so you can see the quality of your model. And if you want to see me play a game instead, you could probably check out my Twitch. I stream from time to time if I'm playing something worth streaming. And I guess see you tomorrow. I'm not actually sure when I'll make it, but see you guys.